What up guys, Sokar here with another video, and in this video we'll be having a look at spawner facts and science. The purpose of it is to help teach you everything you need to know in order to build spawn traps yourself and know exactly why they work and how to make the most efficient traps possible. I will leave annotations on this opening clip so that if you need any part of the guide you can just go ahead and click that and get to the desired information quickly. But anyway, beyond that, let's start out with some basics. The first thing we'll deal with is the spawn area. There has been different sources of information saying that these vary from spawner to spawner. This is not the case. A spawner's area is always, as you can see right here, an 8 by 8 by 3, as represented by this glass. Now, because that the spawn area is 8 by 8, the actual spawner will not be in the exact center, which presents you with the problem of figuring out which sides needs to be 3 wide and which sides needs to be 4 wide. And the way you determine this is if you go on top of the spawner and you click F3, then go towards the corner with the lowest value. So as you can see, as I walk this way, the X and C value drops. That means that this corner has the lowest value of all 4 corners, and this continues on even after 0. So even into the minus, the one with the lowest value needs to be the corner away from the spawner that has the 2 4 wide sides. Now, another way you can determine this, and this might be a little bit easier, is if you stand on the spawner and look at the F value. If you look down F1 and F2, those sides needs to be 4 wide, and 3 and 0 needs to be 3 wide. To finish off the basics, let's talk about what is required for the spawner to actually spawn mobs. There's basically only one thing, and that is the light level. For example, if you spawn normal units, you'll need a ground spot for them to spawn on. That is not the case for spawners. The only thing that governs whether they spawn units are you near it, and what are the light levels. And the differences between light levels are a passive mob spawner, which you'll not see in survival, by the way, will only spawn mobs at light level 9 plus, that means level 9 and above. Overworld hostile mobs, or any spawner you will find in the normal world, will spawn monsters at light level 7 or below. And the blazes that spawn from the blaze spawners in the nether will spawn at light level 12 and below. Now we'll be talking about ExEvasion Area, and this is the area you have to be within in order for the spawner to be active and spawn monsters. There has been many different views and claims on this. Some say it's cuboid, some say it's spherical, and some say it's cylindrical even. There are a lot of big names out there who claims both one or the other, and the Wikipedia is kind of sloppy on it. So I thought I would set this test up so that we could have a look and finally bust this fact together. Now, to start off, before we try it out, if it was cuboid, then standing on the spawner, you could basically go in any direction for 16 blocks, and indeed actually form a cube around it that's 16 blocks in every direction. So let's see if that is it. as you can see, I have clearly entered the cuboid area now. I'm clearly within the white zone here, and nothing happens. The spawner is not online. I need to go much further for it to actually go on. And this is strongly suggesting that it is not cuboid. Now let's have a look at the spherical. The circle at its widest part is 16 away from the spawner, just as the cuboid over there. But as you can see, as soon as we enter it there, it works. Now, if this had been cuboid, this would have been marked by sandstone as well. And as you can see, it does activate. But because it is circular, it actually works. As you can see, every time I enter sandstone, it turns on. Actually, I would like to see some spawns here. It just puffed, which means that it just tried to spawn some monsters. But again, as you can see, it is on now. It is not on now. So from this we can easily conclude that the ExEvasion area are indeed, at the very least, circular. I will go ahead and tell you right away that it is in fact spherical, but I will get back to that later. The next thing we'll be talking about is the escape area. This is the area. This is what I've chosen to call the area of which you have to move the monsters out of for the spawner to continuously produce monsters beyond its usual 6 monster limit. The area is marked by wood on all the platforms so far, and it is a 17 by 17 by 9 area. That means it's 8 blocks on all sides of the spawner, except for the bottom and the top, which is 4 blocks wide. Anyway, to start off proving this area, I will be showing you what happens if you did not move the spiders even out of their spawn area. So what I'll do here is I will simply leave it running until it stops spawning, and I will of course speed the footage up so it will be over in a quickie. Alright, as you can see, it doesn't work if you leave the spiders inside the spawn area. The maximum capacity will be 6, and the way you can see if you'll get more than that is if you watch the spider here spin around faster and faster. And usually what happens is when it gets really quick, it puffs, spawns spiders, and then slows down. But if it slows down without puffing or spawning spiders like there, then you won't get any more. Next we'll have a look at what happens if you force the spiders outside the spawn area but not outside the escape area. Because some people have told me, and I've actually read this, I believe I even read it on a Wikipedia page somewhere, that if you that with cave spiders in particular, there's no difference, by the way, just making sure you know this, but with cave spiders in particular, if you just move them outside the spawn area, they will keep spawning forever. So let's bring it to the test, and I will again speed up the footage, and let's see what we got. Alright, as you can see, just as before, if you only bring them outside the spawn area, you will have the same problem. You will only get 6 spiders, and then it will stop producing any more. Now let's see what happens if we force them out of the escape area, which is again marked by wood. As you can see, the last frame of water is actually sandstone, which means they are going to be completely forced out of the area. What should happen is they should spawn indefinitely, but again, just to make sure, I will leave the recording running and speed up the footage, and we'll see what we get. The reason I'm using skeletons for this test is because it's much easier to demonstrate with them than with spiders without dropping them, which would not demonstrate the actual width test. It would demonstrate the height test, which we will be getting to after this. Rest assured though that I have indeed tested it with spiders, although difficult, and there really is no difference. The escape area remains the same for all spawning types. Alright, as you can see, we're now clearly past the 6 monster limit. So that confirms it that the escape area is indeed 17 by 17. But what about the height? To finish off the research into the escape area, let's have a look at the height. For example, I know that for sure that if you move the monsters more than 4 blocks above the spawner itself, it will spawn them continuously forever. Now it would be very difficult for me to set up a test like that would demonstrate that. That wouldn't take a long time. So instead we're dropping them, which has the same results, hopefully. Now what the differences are here is I'm dropping the skeletons so that their heads are 5 blocks away from the spawner. That means outside of the 4 block range. And the spiders, we're dropping 5 blocks so that their body is 5 blocks away from the spawner. And the frame underneath is to make sure that they don't crawl up and ruin the test. So anyway, let's leave it running here and see what we get. As you can see, they're still spawning just fine. They're never missing a spawn cycle, which means it will continue to produce monsters indefinitely now. So from that we can conclude that it is indeed 4 blocks below it or 4 blocks above it, which means it's 9. So the escape area would be 17 by 17 by 9. To summarize what we've learned and gone through in this video, I've made this model which represents the 3 areas that are important when you make a spawn trap with a mob spawner. The glass in here indicates where the spawn area is. That means the area in which the monsters can spawn. If you deal with skeletons or zombies, remember to leave a spot more above the spawner, because otherwise there won't be space for them to spawn there. The area is 8 by 8 by 3, and to figure out which sides need to be long, as I showed you earlier, you can see that the spawner is not directly in the middle. To find out which sides are 4 wide and which are 3, simply land on the spawner, push F3 and look down F1 and F2. Those are the sides that needs to be 4 wide, and 3 and 0 are the ones that need to be 3. Next we have the red wool area here, which represents the escape area. This is the area that you need to move the monsters outside of for this spawner to continuously produce monsters above its 6 monster cap. And it is 17 by 17 by 9. Finally, we have the ExEvasion area, which is represented by the green wool glass sphere, and it is a sphere that is 33 in diameter directly from the spawner. Now, one thing you gotta remember though, and that I've actually taken this into account on this particular model, and that is it counts from your head, which means that if you are above it like this, you'll get a very flat shape, because even though you technically could go up one block here, 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 like all like that, you won't activate the spawner because your head is too far away. Now, below the spawner, you will be able to get a little bit further away, like this, because your head is closer this way. I have taken this into account when I built this sphere, and made sure that it accurately represents where you need to stand or be for it to be active. I will leave a world download so you can check this thing out yourself and play around with it, get a better feel for it. And yeah, if you need help on the more practical measures of making a trap, I will leave some good links in the description. One to my arrow farm, which handles farming skeletons and zombies very well, and one to my good friend Sumavoid's cave spider experience farm, which is very good for cave spiders. I have actually used that design more or less myself in my LP, and I can really tell you it's highly effective. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think I covered everything. If you have any questions, remember to leave a comment about it, or just about anything. Feel free to comment. And remember, if you liked this video or found it useful, please leave a like on the video, guys. It helps spread it to more people who could probably use it as well. And it helps me, because I get a bit more viewers and maybe find a few more people who likes the nonsense I put on this channel. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.